Today we are going to listen to Mr. Mohan Joshi, the representative director of Scott, which is a German multinational in India, and it has a worldwide sales of 3 billion euros. He has been associated with Schott, which is the Indian arm, since 1998. He's also, prior to this, he has worked with very well-known companies as Torrent as well as Borosil, and he's widely known for his executive coaching ability. He has more than 30 years of industry experience and an international experience. He has given these talks in a number of other forums also, that is CII, Bombay Industries Association, as well as other institutes in India and overseas. And I now request Mr. Mohan Joshi to take the floor.
In my presentation, I am trying to take your efforts slightly forward because I am indeed proud that Baroda Innovation Council has emerged as the first city in innovation drive which is being undertaken by Government of India. I have been fortunate to work for last 35 years in different scenarios. When I was working first 15 years of my life up to 1991, for me the competition was only Indian customers. Then going forward from 91 onwards, I have been exposed to international scenario, and that was the time when liberalization started in India. And therefore I got a lot of exposure dealing into totally different environment where world was the competition. Now when I look forward, 2012 onwards, I feel that I am going to see another era of Indian development, because this is the time when India will take giant steps towards becoming superpower. And if you see what has happened in Gujarat or in India in last 5-10 years, growth in India is definitely visible. Now, when this topic was converted from Global Alliance to Win-Win Global Alliance, a colleague of mine said whether this is the right combination win-win. And then I debated on this topic when we deal with alliance partners. And when I talk on the subject of negotiations, I always say that negotiation or alliance is not a competitive sport. When it is a competitive sport, like cricket or tennis, there is a clear distinction that two parties are playing on weakness of each other. But in alliance, keep in mind that the real success is only when both the parties win. And therefore, win-win alliance is very appropriate subject. In Japan, there is a buzzword currently that all companies are looking at China +1 strategy. That means good companies are already in China. But now Japanese companies are looking at Chinese +1 strategy, which country they should pick up as second focus area, whether it is India, whether it is Brazil, Russia, or other emerging country like Indonesia. So India is very much in running by major companies. I work for German multinational Schott Glass, and I have been fortunate to work with them for last 14 years, in which I have picked up many good practices. So I will talk about Schott. Schott worldwide is 20,000 crore company, which is about 2.88 billion. And most important thing about this company is it's truly global, because 2/3 of our employees are located outside Germany, and very large percentage of turnover, which is 79%, is generated outside Germany. Now, this is the world map which I want to show you how the world map is changing today. Now, in one corner you will find create far from home and win everywhere. If you look back 10 or 20 years back, world was considered as United States, Western Europe, and Japan. They used to only focus on these three countries, and next step was to make exports again to developed nations, and then if there is a possibility, look at countries like Indonesia, China. Now things are changing. Like they have realized that if internationally we have to be competitive, we have to make it different places. And therefore, you will find that most of the companies, when you look at electronic goods, have already shifted base to China. Next point is on the topic of changing the mindset. And this is another area where I feel that Indians have real competitive advantage, because when I look at people in other foreign countries, especially developed countries, I find that people who are in their 20s, 30s and 40s have all seen developed world. Whereas Indians in the age group of 30s and 40s have seen lot of difficult times, and they have really good exposure to work in a competitive situation. Next point, which is very important, is innovation must flow in both the direction. So far, what has happened in terms of innovation, somehow developed world has taken it as their exclusive right that they are expert in innovation. And this is well reflected when Nobel Prizes are looked at, what Nobel Prizes have been given in last 5-7 years. Against 100 Germans and Americans, China and India have only 10 Nobel Prizes. But with the initiatives of different governments, which I will come specifically in later part of my presentation, it is now becoming clear that you will have to do small innovation in countries like India and China and take these innovations to developed world. Because developed world is also having limitations on their budget. Anything that you do today, the stakes are global. Your competitors are global. They will hit you from anytime, anywhere. This is a very little known company, Fung Brothers. They have different names, as it's a family business. But this company has turnover of 20 billion US dollars. This company currently is running at third generation. And when the first generation father, Chinese gentleman, started this business, his core strength was knowledge of Chinese language. But he soon realized that business cannot be only on the language. So his next generation moved on to giving more value-added service like identifying buyers. And third generation, these two brothers, both are Harvard educated, and they have completely changed business pattern of this company. And what they have done, this Hong Kong-based company focuses on core strengths of Hong Kong, which is finance, logistics, and quality. And all other activities are like seamless manufacturing. Another company which I want all of you to understand very well, Caterpillar is $60 billion US company in very specialized business of equipments. And this company is very careful while selecting their distributors, because they feel that the distributors carry a lot of local knowledge in terms of geography and political situation. And they clearly know that we have to identify people who have good knowledge of the local conditions. And this example, why I am quoting, because with the type of growth that is happening in Gujarat region, lot of people, lot of foreign companies will come and create opportunities for you. But you have to see where you can really add value and add strength and be exclusive, because the contacts or the knowledge of the region only you will have, and which can be used. And they are very focused that we will not change our distributor easily. Because when they have distributors who are working for 30 years, 40 years, there is a family relationship developed between company and the dealers. Let's look at our own Mahindra & Mahindra, how they have created innovative approach for selling tractors in United States. They make small tractors, and the tractor business in United States, where land size is very large and therefore horsepower required for running tractor is quite huge. Compared to India, where land size for each farmer is less, and therefore we operate with less horsepower. But what Mahindra & Mahindra did, they positioned themselves for hobby farming. You say in United States, everyone is supposed to do their own work, and this particular product they introduced as hobby farming. They got some patents together to create easy financing. They made sure that the one tractor is sold, they check every month how the tractor is performing. And today, Mahindra & Mahindra's 35 horsepower is low cost, low price for different application, very successful model in United States. Let's move to Japan, Japanese situation. This particular study is conducted by Boston Consulting Group. And what they have realized that at the top end of the market in terms of market share, when it comes to automobile or TVs, you will not find Japanese company at the top. And the conclusion was very clear. First, in Japanese products, they always want to introduce at the top end of the market. India, Suzuki is one exception where they started with Maruti 800. But normally, if you look at television market, Sony has come with very large televisions, very expensive televisions. Because as I said earlier, that Japanese people very strongly focus in Western Europe and United States, the markets they feel familiar. In India, LG and Samsung today have captured almost 50% market share, 25% each in television category. But when it comes to three or top four Japanese company, Sony, Toshiba, and one or two other companies, their combined market share is just 13%. And this is the difference between Korea and Japanese approach, that Koreans tackle this market at mid-segment or low segment and expand it further. Lack of commitment. You see, any foreign company must trust local people. Unless they have confidence in local people, it is very difficult to succeed. Now, Japanese, as all of you have this experience, you will find more Japanese per 100 employees in any company. Means if you look at Indian company, in LG, there are only 15 Koreans on 5,500 employees that LG employs in India. But similar consumer durable, small company, Japanese nature, they had 20 Japanese for 350 employees. And somehow this trust is not there that local people will be competitive. Now this example I am giving because when you are dealing with Japanese, you have some basic idea what is their structure. We have our facility in Jambusar where we make pharmaceutical tubing for making ampoules and vials. Now this particular factory was taken by SCHOTT 14 years back, and step by step they have made improvements, and our entire focus has been on quality, and through quality we have captured very good percentage of market share in India, and from India now we are also supplying to developed countries. From tubing, the next application is ampoules and vials, and therefore we are quite dear to pharmaceutical industry because our product is sold to pharmaceutical industry. If you are at any stage in the hospital, you will trust SCHOTT products because most of the hospitals will use injectables made out of SCHOTT tubing. We give a lot of importance in terms of wall thickness, in terms of sealing of glass, and you will find the difference when this particular person is taking insulin injection. The difference between SCHOTT and other company is SCHOTT having very strongly controlled outer diameter and ID. The injection flow is very smooth. You don't feel that you are taking insulin injection. But if you take this injection from the product that is not made out of a good quality tubing, then the injection flow will not be very smooth and the whole exercise is very painful. Now I must share my experience of dealing with German company. One thing about Germans is they are very structured. They will go point by point, whereas Indian managers will move from 1 to 2, 2 to 5. If they fail, they will come back to 3 and again restart. Everything is quantitative for German managers. Even simple thing, HR person makes a statement to German management that canteen food has improved. It doesn't make any sense for a German manager what he's saying canteen food has improved. But when he says canteen food has improved because last year we got 23 complaints and this year we have got only 9 complaints. But still German manager is not satisfied. What they want to know is when you had 23 complaints, what was the root cause of those complaints? how you have analyzed those root causes and eliminated. Then the German managers totally understand everything. Another finding that I had, that Indian managers would like to hide information in the sense that they would like to give only good news to bosses. They will not give in bad news. Whereas typical German manager, he wants to really know what are the factors which is affecting our performance and what steps you are taking to improve that performance. And this is where Indian managers need to change their approach, that they have to be upfront with their problem, they have to upfront with their solution, they have to take corrective measures and move forward. First and fundamental behavior pattern is you must respect other person as a human being. And this is something which we have transferred from Germany quite successfully, because in Germany everybody is financially well off, they live at a reasonably good standard. Act responsibly. It is with great difficulty we have converted this into our company, because in India, what managers feel that if they have told problem to their senior, their job is done. They don't offer solutions. And once my boss from Germany told me that, Mohan, you will not listen to any problems from the people unless they offer you solutions. Now in our company in Germany, I have realized that when you are into manufacturing area, everyone coming to manufacturing factory is supposed to contribute in terms of better production. Whether you are in HR, whether you are in finance, your job is how you will support company to improve production and reduce cost. Why Germany is successful and what are the things that must have made Germany successful? First and foremost, I feel, is the spirit of small and medium enterprises. In Germany, there are plenty of companies who are still owner-driven. 70% of employees in Germany work for small and medium enterprises. There is no definition in terms of turnover or anything. And just to give you how big can be a company and still under category mentally under SME is Merck. All of you are familiar with company Merck, who are into business of chemicals and pharmaceuticals. This company, having turnover of 10 billion euro, is still a family owned. Family controls 75 or 70% of equity, and family is in business for 350 years. 14th generation is running this business. Other factor is Indo-German Chamber of Commerce. German commerce industry places everywhere. They will have their own office who will give very authenticated report. And my example will short, when we started solar business about 6-7 years back, they wanted to have some market information. And when I gave market information and said that this information I have collected from Indo-German, no further questions. Because Indo-German is a brand, is well established that the information coming is genuine. Other reason where we should take things forward is lot of people are experienced in their profession. In our country, people become by default electrician or plumber or carpenter. These people are trained for 5 years for any profession, and they are really technically qualified to do the job. And next pillar is trade fairs in Germany. Whatever is the position of economy, trade fairs in Germany will happen. If you tell your boss that I want to attend trade fair in Germany, in all probability, he will approve your visit. But if you tell him that I want to attend trade fair, even in Singapore, even in UK, he will have reservations, because Germany trade fairs are extremely well organized and professional. Now, growth must be sustainable and inclusive. Now, when you look at gross domestic product per capita, today morning's figure is 132 because of this continuous change of rate. When you look at GDP per capita, very ballpark numbers, when you look at Luxembourg and Qatar, they have per capita $100,000 US per person. $100,000 US is per person income in Qatar and Luxembourg. When you look at typical European country or United States, this per capita is in the range of $40,000 to $50,000. In that range is in developed countries. So Qatar is almost double. When it comes to China, it is around 5,500. So much lower than Europe. and much, much lower in India, around 1,400 US dollars. Now, this is where you have to focus. This is where world will focus, because on one side, everyone says that India and China will become superpower. On other side, their per capita consumption is very low. And therefore, so far the innovation which has happened in developed countries will shift to smaller countries, because if you want these countries to grow, you cannot give them Ferrari cars, you cannot give them expensive cars, you cannot give them mobile phones costing $1,000, and therefore world multinational companies will start looking at bottom of pyramid. Bottom of pyramid is where real future is there. None of us are real big customers for future growth of India. Future growth of India will come from slums and villages in India. We have to create passion for education. Sometimes we stop learning after we have done our graduation, but future growth will come only if professionally people are continuously learning and developing. I want to talk about why innovation will come. United States President Obama, he has acknowledged that USA will not have money in future to do big innovation. He is extremely unhappy with type of investments which auto industry is doing and pharma industry is doing. And he has formed a special cell in his department, or as a President of United States, social innovation and civic participation. He understood one case. You see, in one of his visits along with Bill Gates and some other people, he met one HIV patient, and that HIV patient was in early 30s, and he was sexually abused at the age of 14, 15, and at very early stage in 30s, he was having HIV. He met another patient in South America, in Peru. Fortunately, the patient in United States was near Boston, so he was having good facility for HIV treatment, as best treatment is near Boston. Peru person did not have that facility, but after 1 year, Peru person survived, USA person died, because Peru person had lot of social support coming from his family and villagers to come out of this situation. In future, pharmaceutical industry cannot cure your disease. Real challenge will be how you can avoid getting disease. Have you heard about Tulsi Tanti?
Yeah.
You have heard. You know the background of the story. When I was in my 30s or 40s, I had seen this company starting textile mill in Surat, but he was having big problem in terms of energy, and therefore he started seeing how I can run this factory without using traditional fuel, which is only increasing. And consequently, he went into wind energy and stopped his textile business. But he came into this business because of the difficulties that he faced in business and created entirely new model of wind energy. When I started my career in SHOT in '98, first big order I got was from Indian Space Research Organization, where we supplied glass mirrors, and ISRO has this satellites going all over the place to give information to farmers. And Dr. Mohan, who is based in a village near Chennai, has collaborated very well with ISRO and some other organization. Dr. Mohan has said, how can I use technology to help you to improve your health? And what he has done, he has put his mobile vans in small villages, and he has trained people in those villages to take blood sample and conduct immediate tests, small tests. And in villages, they are conveying this result using latest technology. They are coming to Chennai through satellite, through emails, and through video chat. Doctors in Chennai are talking to villagers in Tamil Nadu. Today, if you see in our villages, if you want to take paracetamol tablet, you are in struggle, but you will get Cokes and Pepsis in any part of India. And therefore, pharmaceutical industry is focusing, because if patients are analyzed, they will go for medication. If they go for medication, they will use good quality material. Therefore, pharmaceutical industry is very closely following Dr. Mohan's model. Just look at challenges which OP Bhatt had. In SBI, you cannot give higher salaries to retain talent because you are controlled by your rules and regulations, so you can't get higher talent. You can't sack anyone. So you can't get good performance, you can't sack bad performance because there are unions involved. So OP Bhatt understood this model that I cannot get good employees, I cannot sack anyone. And he created his model of motivation and changed entire banking concept or the approach of State Bank of dealing with customers. GE Healthcare is into business of ECG equipment and lot of other medical equipments. This particular picture is of their model 5550, which costs in the range of 1.5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. But the biggest problem when they introduced this model in India was that our doctors were not having space to keep this equipment, which required continuous power, which required computer monitor, and only bigger hospitals were able to afford GE equipment. And GE management was in deep trouble that how can we sell equipment in India, which is largest population for cardiovascular diseases. With innovation, they came out with a small machine which started costing in the range of 5,000 and above, which doctors can carry, which doesn't require electricity. They can take printout, and this equipment they started marketing at 5,000 rupees. And this is what multinationals will have to do in future, that they cannot bring their products from outside to India. You will have to tell them that this is what is required in Indian market. So coming to India story, if somebody wants to have alliance in India, what needs to be done is, first thing is our channels are totally different, which foreigners find it very difficult. If you go to United States and if you want to buy soap, you will go to Walmart and equivalent. You will not buy one soap, you will buy 12 soaps. In India, we cannot afford to buy 12 soaps at a time. And therefore, companies you will see have introduced small shampoos, small soaps, because this is what is required in Indian market. And what is required in Indian market, still we have a lot of supermarkets coming up, but only 15% of our purchases are in supermarket, because we still depend on our grocery to buy small things. And this is what multinationals must understand, that the channels of doing business, maybe established product of FMCG range, are completely different in India. I will give you a short example. When we started pharmaceutical tubing business, we make one type of glass which is used only by Indian pharmaceutical industry. And for Schott, it was good decision to discontinue that product and make their product which is worldwide accepted 5 lakhs. But Schott gives a lot of importance when they select their product, what is relevance to the market. And Schott continued with manufacturing of that particular glass in India, and which we are still doing today, but said this glass is required in Indian market, what we should do is to improve quality of it. And after 7-8 years, they introduced their international brand. And therefore, for multinationals to understand that they cannot bring their overseas products into India, they have to really see what is relevance of that particular product to Indian market. Affordability. I cannot buy 12 cakes of soaps, which will cost me 200 rupees, because I cannot afford to buy soap worth 200 rupees at a time. But I want small soap, which will cost me 1 rupee, 2 rupees, 3 rupees, and I can keep on buying it every few days. And this is Indian market, and therefore you have to make foreigners aware of 3 factors of doing alliance in India. If you want to create a win-win or good alliance in India, accessibility, that is the channels in which business has to go, must be very clear. Relevance of that product to Indian market must be clear. And affordability of that product must be clear, whether people will be able to afford that product. Now, 3 success factors for all of you. If you have to work with foreign partners, you have to give focus on quality of work that you are doing. There is absolutely no substitute for quality. Other focus that you can give is to supply chain. Supply chain is something which is totally neglected in India. When I was looking for supply chain manager 4 years back in our factory, I had difficult time getting supply chain manager. But today, I know importance of supply chain because we have changed this company through quality and through assured delivery. And supply chain is something which foreign companies, if they promise you that they will deliver material on 1st of December, they will deliver it to you on 1st of December. India, we even don't know on 29th November whether it will happen on 1st December. And therefore, all of us, when I say supply chain, it is applicable. In one of my presentations, they asked, is supply chain applicable to finance? I said yes. They asked, is it applicable to HR? I said yes. Because everyone, before he makes commitment, he must know what is the flow and what is the sequence. Relationship. You have to have good relationship with people internally and externally. There is absolutely no substitute because one bad relationship can professionally ruin your career or take it on negative path. And therefore, for your professional success, whatever is your profession, your success factors are quality, supply of value chain, and relationship.
So thank you very much, and please give Mr. Joshi